I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy Sixx. Welcome back to the Arc server setup series brought to you by Game Servers Hub. You can join their Discord at discord.gg/GSH. They can be seen on screen and found in the description down below. The plugin, Discord, and the website can be found in the description as well. If you have any questions or problems, feel free to leave a comment or join my personal Discord. I'll have a channel set up where you can receive help from me on errors that you have. You can also find support inside the support Discord for the server or plugin itself, as well as GSH if you're interested in that Discord. They're all great places to get support. Without further ado, let's get into the plugin. So today we'll be going over rate control by WETBATMAN. It's basically a plugin that allows you to control your rates and do a cool amount of features actually that allow you to customize your server. We're going to go ahead and open up the web page for it. So as you can see here, you can reload it and it will change your rates based off multipliers. You can set stats based on tribe size, set stats based on permissions, set rates based on time of day or certain days, set turret damage based on tribe size, change player stats, scaling, and spawn based stats, clean stat changer, so if you remove the plugin, the stat modifications will be cleared as well. Clean rate changer, basically it means that it doesn't have to check for dupes or do anything extra because the method that I use to harvest is guaranteed to trigger only when harvesting. There's permission stacking or permission priority, meaning we can either stack the permissions we set up or we can give one permission higher priority than other ones. So you can set up however you like. And there's automatic permission reloaded, so if a player with permissions that have changed is logged in, they won't have to relog. It also adds solo farm in, which is very helpful. So we'll go over how to get the plugin first, and then we'll actually go over the config. I would suggest buying it off his website directly. You can buy it off Game Servers Hub if you want. However, if you buy off his website, it is fully automatic, so I would recommend doing it. Here's the FAQ for his website. So if you need to contact him, this is his Discord. You have to input your username when purchasing the plugin. So you enter your Discord username without the tag. However, tags are gone now, so well, some people still have them. So if you have a tag, you just don't put the numbers. So you would just enter your actual username. Within 30 seconds of completing your transaction, you will get a message in Discord, and then you will have a role in the Discord to actually download the files. And all you need is the Arc server API to actually run this, and permissions if you want to use it. So you go plugins and go ahead and buy his rate control and add to cart, and then you would enter your username to continue. So I already have the plugin, so I'm not going to go through this part, but go ahead and continue going through this and you will be granted permissions in Discord. So once you have access to the Discord, there's going to be a few things you have to do. So once you're in the Discord, you're going to get a message from WB License Bot. I don't know what the exact message will say when it pops up, but we will go over how to basically. So the first thing you can do is /commands, and it will tell you all commands that the bot has. So you have pending to display your pending licenses that you can activate. You do activate and then the ID of the license. If you do licenses, it will list all your active license owned by you. License will display the info specific to that ID. So you can do license and then the number that you get from licenses. You can unbind the hardware ID to be able to change your hardware ID to a new one if you switch machines. You can reset your actual key if it's got leaked, or if you change admins, got rid of admins and they have access to your key, you can go ahead and reset your key just to be safe. Set host mode, basically it changes it from hardware ID to IP and query port, which this helps if you have a hardware ID that changes on system reboot. However, it is limited to 6 servers, whereas with a regular authentication mode, it does support unlimited servers as long as it's running on one machine. Remove host mode will remove the host mode. and switch the license back to the regular hardware ID authentication. Set name will add a custom name to the license by a license ID, so you can easily identify it if you have multiple licenses. And then remove name will remove the name from it. So we're going to go ahead and get the license key because we're going to need it for the config. So we're going to go ahead and do /licenses. And this will give me my license ID, which is what I'll need. And it'll tell me the product if it's active and the assigned name if there is one, but there is no sign. I haven't assigned names for any of these. So we're going to go ahead and go license. And since we're doing rate control, I'm going to enter my license ID for rate control. This will give me my information that I need for rate control and the license key. So we're going to go ahead and take the license key. And real quick, I'll actually switch off this Discord back to his Discord just that way, so I don't have to censor my key every time, because obviously you guys can't see my key. Now go ahead and open ASM and navigate to your plugins folder. If you don't know how to find it, you click this button next to ASM, you go shooter game, binaries, Win64, ArcAPI, then plugins. Then in his Discord itself, you'll have access to this download and update channel where you can actually download the plugin itself. I'm going to go ahead and hide my screen while I download the plugin so you guys can't see the link that it downloads from. Alright, we have installed the plugin, so we're going to go into our downloads folder, open the zip file, we're gonna open the zip file, and we're going to create a new folder inside of our plugins folder, and we're gonna call it rate control. We're gonna go ahead and copy all these over into here. So once you have your plugin folders moved over, you're going to go ahead and open the config.json and the config_help.json in case you need it. We're going to go ahead and go to config.json, and the first thing we're going to do, the config.json is the one that you always want to edit. The config_help just gives you basically information about what each line is if you get confused. However, we will go over each line to hopefully help a little bit more as well. So in config.json, under license, we're going to go ahead and enter our license key. This is provided by the Discord bot. I'm going to hide my screen while I enter mine real quick, as you have to keep this private. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hide the line. I'm sorry if there was a weird cut there. There was a slight problem. I had a phone call that I had to take. Alright, so my license ID is entered. So the first option we have is stacking add instead of multiply. This will add together the multipliers instead of multiplying them. So for instance, if you set tribe size of 1 to 3 times XP, and then you have a VIP rank that adds another 2x XP. If you had it set to true, it will add that together. So it will be 5 times XP. If you have it set to false, it would be 6 times XP, because it will multiply the two numbers together. So timed rate boost is for basically weekend rates. So we're going to go ahead and actually end mine at Monday at noon instead. This is 24-hour format. I apologize for the weird cut again. They had to call back. So the next thing we're going to do is go off multipliers. So you have to keep in mind when doing this that this will multiply the base server rates by this number. So if my XP rate multiplier is 5, it's going to times it's going to multiply it by 5. So it's going to times my 5 by 5, essentially making it a 25x server. Now, if I want my XP to be, say, 10, and I'm on a 5x XP server, so I want to double my XP server, what we're going to do simply is we're going to do 5 and then just divide it by 5, and we'll get 1. So if we put the multiplier to 1, it would now make it a 10x. So we're going to keep this 5 because my XP value is actually 1 for this server. My player harvest rate, my harvest rate is set to 10, so I want 15x on weekends. So what I would do is I would take 5 because I want a 5 rate increase. So you take the amount that you want increased, and then you divide that by the base number that you have for that value. So for me it would be 10, and I need to set it to 0.5. So this will now set my harvest to 15x, sorry, instead of making it basically essentially a 50x. So if you, basically, I'll give one more example as well. So if you have a 25x server and you want to make it 30x on weekends, so you only want a 5 increase then, or actually let's just say we'll do 2 demonstrations. So if you want a 5 increase, we're going to take 5 because we want it to be 30x, and we're going to divide it by 25, and it'll give us a 0.2. So we would set 0.2 into the harvest if we want it to be a 30x. Now if you want to figure out, let's say you want it to be 35x, so you want 10 more, so we enter 10 in here, we divide that by 25, and it equals 0.4. So we would set this to 0.4, and then we have a 35x server. And if you want to increase it, say by a lot, then you can say I want to increase it by 50x. We just do 50, and we divide that number by 25, and we know that we have to set it to 2. So Dino Harvest, I also want to set this to 0.5 because I want 15x, and Taming, I also want 5x on weekends. So this will change the weekend rates now on XP, Player Harvest, Dino Harvest, and Taming. We're just gonna go ahead and minimize that so we can go to the next part. So tribes, now keep in mind, if you don't want tribes, then you're gonna take from this line here all the way down to this curly bracket right here before the square bracket, delete it, save, and you're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and enable tribe permissions for this just to show it off. So I'm gonna re-enable it real quick. So the rate upgrade cooldown in minutes, this basically is the minutes before it will update your tribe size to avoid people to being able to join and leave together to up the rates or down the rates instantly. So this stops everybody from leaving the tribe, or one person from leaving the tribe and getting what single player rates are. So for myself, I would like to be getting 10x XP on size 1. I want my harvest to be permanently 20x, so we're gonna go ahead and put a 1 in there to times it by 2. Dino Harvest, we're gonna also put at 1x. Taming, I want to be 10x for my one player. Player damage, I want this to be I want this technically to be 0 and dino damage 0. I don't want to adjust the player damage dino. This will change the damage that they do to players and the damage they do to dinos. Player damage reduction and dino damage reduction will reduce the damage taken, so I also want these two values to 0. And then dino damage reduction. Oh, sorry, no, turret to players will do 3x damage. I want this to do 5x damage. And turrets to wild, I want to be 10 times damage. And turrets to tame damage, I'll stick to 3 for that. So now we have the solo farm part. The solo farm, you basically put the BP path for the dino that you want to be able to auto farm, and it will enable these to auto farm. So let's say we want to add the thorny dragon to this. We're going to go ahead and add a comma here and open up the thorny dragon for the wiki, and we're going to copy the variant. Make sure you don't accidentally copy the gauntlet. Make sure you actually copy the normal version, and then we're going to have after our comma, we're just going to go ahead and paste it in there. And now this will allow thorny dragons to be solo farmed for single players, but not duos. So if you want to add a mod dino, it's also possible. I do show this off in ASM setup video, but I will quickly show it here how to basically quickly find spawn codes. So let me quickly go ahead and grab the eternal the eternal mod ID. So we're gonna navigate to the we're just gonna go here because it's actually already installed on the server. So we're just gonna go to shooter game, content, mods, and I believe it's this one. Yeah, so 8976. So now we're gonna hop over to the gaming PC real quick. And we're gonna open Steam. Right click your arc. Browse local files. Shooter game. Content. Mods. And look for the number. So 8976. And then we're going to drag this program called Arc Code Generator in here, which as you can see is already in here. So let me just delete it out of here and delete the output.txt. So we're going to drag the Arc Code Generator in here and run it. More information, run anyways. And then it will generate all of the things for us, all the Ingram entries, but it also gives us the dino spawn codes. So I'm going to look for the eternal Anki. So here we go, eternal Anki right here, and we're gonna copy this, and then back on the server PC, we simply go ahead and put another comma. On the next line, we enter this, and now the eternal Anki will technically auto farm. I don't have eternal running on the server, so I can't show you this, but this would allow eternal Anklio to be able to farm. So then you have obviously tribe size 2, and if you want to have more tribe size, all you do is you copy from this open bracket right here down to where it closes right here, add a comma, new line, paste, make sure there's no comma after this one, and then we just do tribe size 3, and then you can adjust the values for however you like. So now we have permissions, and we can either stack permissions or not. This will combine the permissions together if you have multiple roles. I don't want it to do this. I want this to be false, or it basically won't stack the permissions if I have multiple roles together. So as you can see here, admin's default, so it's the same thing. So if you want different ones, you just copy here and copy all the way down to where it closes, which I think is this one. Yep. So we would copy this, add a comma, space, paste, comma, space, paste, and now we have 2 other roles that we can put in here. So we'll make this one NP admins, or NP admins, and we'll make this one VIP. So you can set priority. You want your admin to be the lowest. Hey guys, it's me from the future. You actually want it to be the highest. I do go over this later in the video, but yeah, it's not the lowest, it's the highest. Well, in my case, I actually want my NP admin to be the lowest, but this is my actual admin rank, whereas this admin rank is a fake admin rank. So this can go to 2, and then I want VIP to go to 3. So I have admin role, so I don't actually want the admin one, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete the admin one. We're just gonna delete the empty space. So for NP admins, I basically want their stats to be insanely boosted. So for XP, I want this to multiply my number by 100x. Player harvest, I want to multiply it by 100x. And basically same with Dino. Player damage, I want to do 100x damage. Dino damage, I want to do 100x. Damage reduction, we can leave at that. Taming, 100x. And this will change the amount that my stats scale. So I have base stats, so they are vanilla. So I want my stats to scale higher on this character. The only stat that I actually have changed on here is I believe weight. Yeah, so I have my weight changed to 100 and 100. So I want my health to go up. My health is default, so it'll only go up by 10. But if I put this to 100, it will now increase the rate that my 100 goes up. So we're just gonna put all these to 100. And then the base stats will affect my base stats. So again, I want my stats on NP admins to be high. So we're just gonna put 100 in each one of these values. You can change your player speed. I want my admins to be fast, so let's say I want my admins to say, let's say I want them to have 350 movement speed. I want them to have 10,000 crafting skill, and I want them to have 100 fortitude. So solo farm dinos, you can list the dinos that can be farmed. I'm just going to keep this as Ankleon Doed, but you can add more if you want. Then VIP, we're going to go ahead and there's also no collision, by the way, to enable or disable no collision. But I have no collision enabled by default on the server, so the setting doesn't matter to me. So VIP is priority 3. And for VIPs, I want it to be 5 times XP. Player harvest, I want them to get the 5% increase, which would be 0.5. So I'm gonna set this to 0.5. I'm gonna set this to 0.5. Player damage, I want 1. Dino damage, I do want 2. I'm gonna leave all the rest of this default. Well, actually, I'll change a few values just to show, just for demonstration. So we'll do it to like 175 speed. We'll do 2 HP, 3 stam, 15 weight. And then for the adding and multipliers, we'll do 2x on the health, 5x on the oxygen, and 50x on the food or on the water and the food. And then solo farm, we're also going to leave base as default. Now, there is something you could do, but I do recommend against it. In theory, if you really wanted to, you could keep all your settings in ASM set to default at 1x, and then boost your rates by just simply making the group and then doing default. So now this will change the default group. The reason I suggest against doing this though is because although it makes it easier to get the numbers because you don't have to calculate the math, you have no control over individual resources anymore. So if you want element to be nerfed on Gen 2, but you have it basically set in here as 5x, now element's 5x farming. Whereas if you only want element to be, say, 2x farming, you can do that inside the INI. But if you have it set to 2x farming, it will then multiply it by 5, making it insane farming. So I would advise against doing this. The one thing you can do is actually set all these numbers to 0, which this is and we'll set this to 4, and we're gonna name this crafter. So we're gonna set all these values to 0. We're gonna set these to 1. Then we're gonna set these to 1 as well. Actually, these should be set to 0, sorry. Set these to 0s. But I don't want to multiply the number. Then the only one that I actually want changed is crafting skill, and I want this to be 25,000. So this way players can get a crafter rank in game, and these can be removed as well. So we just remove both these, and then now we have a crafter role. So if I go ahead and go into my ASM and open up my Archon, the server is not connected right now, so I'll set this up once the server is actually started. And we'll set up actually one more role real quick. So we'll copy from here all the way down to where it closes. So we're gonna go ahead and paste this and put this to 0, and we're gonna set our weight basically to an extreme number. We're gonna set it to 9,999, and we'll do the same with the actual multiplier. So if you even add weight, it'll go up by an insane amount. And we're just gonna name this weight. So now we have the commands, which is show rates and solo farm. Show rates will show your active rates. Solo farm will show will enable solo farm, sorry, not show, it will enable it. And then you have all your messages, so you can add the delay between messages, change what the message actually says, and change the color of the message if you want using RGB. So I usually leave these default for most plugins, except a few that you can actually enter your server name on, where it makes sense to enter your server name. And as you can see, there are a few parameters you can use in these. And if you want a new line, you just do /n and it'll go onto a new line. So we're gonna go ahead and save this. And one thing that's good to do, no matter really how advanced you are with plugins, is go ahead and copy the plugin. Now I'm gonna copy from rate control all the way down, just so I don't show my license key and have to edit it out. And we're gonna go to JSON Validator, and I use JSONLint.com. We're gonna do an open bracket at the top. I'm gonna do an open bracket at the top. You would just copy and paste your entire code in here. The only reason I'm putting an open bracket is because it will fail if it doesn't. Then go ahead and paste the rest of the code. and validate JSON. And as you can see, we actually did run into an error on line 171. I forgot to add a comma. So now if I copy this, just copy it all. Obviously it's easier if you don't have to hide your security code, because you can just Control A and Control C it, but I don't want my code shown, so it's easier to do it this way. And validate JSON, and as you can see, it's a valid JSON. That's why it's worth using a JSON validator no matter how advanced you are. I've been running servers for a long time and I still miss commas sometimes, just because you're brain dead writing code for hours sometimes, and a missed comma can happen. And I've been up for probably 30 hours at this point actually recording, because it's the same day that my ASM video was recorded, and it's now 11:54 p.m. at night, and I started at like 3 a.m. yesterday. So we're gonna go ahead and save this and go over to ASM, and we're gonna go ahead and start the server. I'll let it load to the point where it actually shows that the plugin has loaded without errors, and then I will pause the recording until the server has fully started. So as we can see, the plugin has loaded, so we are good. So I will be right back once the plugin has, or the server has fully started. All right, and we're back. So the server has started. So now we need to quickly add the two groups that we created, which is crafter, well actually three, VIP, crafter, and wait. So we're gonna go ahead and open our Archon, go permissions dot add group space VIP. Oh, I forgot to put an S. Permissions dot add group space VIP. Permissions dot add group space crafter, and permissions dot add group space wait. So now if I check with my Heidi SQL in permission groups, we have all of our roles set up. So we're gonna go ahead and load into the server now. I'm sick of wishing I could just forgive and forget. I'm sick of all these thoughts that are stuck in my mind, So we're gonna go ahead and load into our GSH tutorial server, which shouldn't take long, so I'll just let it load in. Alright, we're now in the server, so I'm just gonna GCM myself, just so we have no problems with anything killing me. And if we do show rates, you'll see I currently have 110 XP, 10 times harvest, 100x dino harvest. Oh, I forgot to change my thing. So as you can see, I now have 100x gather, and that's because if I do /groups, I have an MPAdmin. So if I go ahead and do and remove that for myself, so permissions dot remove my Steam ID, NPAdmin. So now if I do /rates, show rates, did not remove my group yet. I did remove. Oh, that's right, there's sorry, there's the cooldown. Oh no, it works. It didn't update my actual thing yet. So we're back down. Now we're back down to a 10x. So we're basically a normal player now. with a tribe size of 1.
Just take control of the thoughts inside your head and understand that what you think is what
So now if I go ahead and look at my stats, you can see my stats are vanilla. We're gonna go ahead and leave me alone so this thing stops eating me. So now if I go ahead and give myself, say, the crafter role,
all these thoughts that are stuck in my mind, my mind.
permissions,
I'm sick of all these thoughts that are stuck in my head.
add
I'm sick of wishing I
crafter,
could just forgive and forget. I'm sick
or
of
my
all
Steam
these
ID,
thoughts that are stuck in my mind, my
crafter.
I'm sick of all these thoughts.
I might have to die for the stats to actually update. Alright, so I have died. I had to enable spectator and disable it due to the fact that I logged out with GCM on. It kept me in permanent GCM. So if we go ahead and go groups, you'll see I have crafter and weight. But since I don't have stack permissions on, it's only giving me the weight. So we're gonna go ahead and actually enable stack permissions real quick. So we go ahead and open up Notepad. Wrong Notepad.
You won't see me stop, no, you won't see me quit.
Notepad and change stack permissions to true. Save the config file and go ahead and open ASM, open Archon, and do rate control dot reload. And then if we die, I now have the crafting skill and the weight. Alright, we're back. So as you can see, now I have all my stacks actually together from all three settings we have. So I have the crafter role. If I do show or groups, as you can see, I have the weight, crafter, and NP admins. So I have all of them stacked together. The two things that I will mention real quick is in Notepad, I did have it backwards, which I will put an edit on screen at the time that we talked about it. Priority for admin is set to 99, and then you work your way down. So the highest priority, the priority goes off the highest number, not the lowest. So you have to set this to 99, and then everything else will basically be lower than that. So I have weight at 98, crafter at 90. It doesn't matter what numbers you put, they just have to be different numbers and lower. So the only actual commands that are in here are show rates and solo farm, which we'll show off real quick. So we're gonna need to get ourselves 2 dinos. We're gonna go ahead and spawn ourselves an RG. Sorry, I'm used to entering commands in single player, not multiplayer, so sometimes I forget cheat. And then we're gonna need an Enki. Go ahead and grab an Argentavis saddle. Go ahead and pick the thing, and all you gotta do is type solo farm, and the Enki will start farming, and he'll keep going. As you can see, you can fully mesh the Enki and no problems occur. It doesn't drop it. So it's pretty helpful. And it would work with DOED or any dyno that you have set up in the file. So the one thing that can be done, and it's the last thing that I'll show off, and then we'll end the video, is I have insane movement speed, so I'm going to go flying when I dismount dynos, don't mind that, is on the server PC. If you wanted to, we could go ahead and add the default rank in here. So let's just copy the top one here. And then space enter. And change this to default. We'll set priority to 1 because it's lowest. And we just set all these options to basically not change anything. So save, and this way it still allows you to solo farm, but it doesn't actually change any other settings. So if I were to remove myself from all roles real quick, should have removed it. Let me quickly relog and see if it fixes it, so I will be right back. Alright, so our stats are back to normal. I did have to relog. Alright, just to show you that it actually works for default, I did quickly go ahead inside the config file and add Beaver to the default group. Since we're technically a tribe of 1, I could solo farm before, so I added the Beaver to the default group. So now we can farm wood. Keep in mind, beavers don't bite that well, but there we go. Especially on small trees. That pretty much concludes the rate control plugin video by WETBATMAN. And a big shout out to WETBATMAN for allowing me to get a temporary license to be able to show you guys how to set it up and what it's about. I hope this video was helpful in some way if you are using this plugin. And again, if we swap screens real quick, you'll see that this is powered by Game Service Hub. They designed the API, they make all this stuff possible. They allow these creators to be able to actually publish amazing plugins that do amazing things, and just a big shout out to them and all the work that they put in. Keep in mind, the crafter and weight rank can be implemented. Keep in mind, the crafter and weight rank can be implemented into the shop command, which there will be a video on how to set up shop. So I will show you how to do that with shop command. You basically just add a command form reward into the shop, and it allows you to get a temporary reward, so you can temporarily get a crafter rank or temporarily get the weight rank for farming just by purchasing a rank. You can also set up solo farm and then turn that into a purchasable rank through the in-game shop, or for real money if you're doing that. But it's either way, it's up to you. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I want my story just to have a happy ending, and I don't got a plan B. A plan A is all I need. Took the ships from the sea.